Disturbing facts that will ruin your day. In the 1930s, it was common for parents to hang their children outside of their windows. There was a city in 1518 hit with a dancing plague where citizens could not stop dancing. It began with a single woman who danced for days by herself, and then slowly more and more people became infected. A woman in the 7th century gave birth after she was already dead. A single tiger in Nepal killed 436 people in its lifetime. In the 1800s, if you had dentures, they normally were made from the teeth of dead soldiers. In the 1920s, an entire factory crew happily worked with radium. Most of them died horrifically of radiation poisoning shortly after. Until very recently, it was believed that babies did not feel pain, so doctors operated on babies without anesthesia. Follow for more disturbing facts. Crazy coincidences that you will not believe are true. Edgar Allan Poe wrote a book about 4 sailors who survived their ship sinking and had to eat their cabin boy who happened to be named Richard Parker. Poe claimed the story was based on real-life events, but that was not true. 46 years later, this exact thing happened, and the boy that they ate had the name Richard Parker. Mark Twain was born in 1835 when Halley's Comet was passing the Earth, and he predicted that he would die when Halley's Comet came back. Halley's Comet only shows up every 76 years, and in 1910, on the first day that Halley's Comet was passing Earth again, Mark Twain died. This Dutch cyclist escaped 2 plane crashes in his life. Not only was he supposed to be on the missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 before deciding to take an earlier flight, he was also supposed to be on Malaysia Airlines Flight 17, the one that got shot down over Ukraine in 2014. He changed his flight so that he could save money. The first British soldier and the last British soldier to die in World War I are buried 6 meters apart from each other, facing each other, in a Belgium cemetery. This was not a planned arrangement. Follow for more coincidences. Crazy coincidences you will not believe are true. You may know that John Wilkes Booth assassinated Abraham Lincoln, but did you know that just a few months before this, Booth's brother saved Abraham Lincoln's son from death? Robert Lincoln nearly fell backwards onto the tracks in a train station before Edwin Booth grabbed him by the collar and pulled him back up. Edwin Booth was a famous actor at the time, and Robert Lincoln recognized him and was a fan, so later wrote about the incident. Edwin Booth did not realize who he had saved until years after his brother's infamous act. In 1895, there were only 2 cars in the entire state of Ohio, and they somehow ran into each other. A meteor once hit the home of a family that had the last name Comet. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and the Comets are now a proud owner of this extremely rare alien rock that probably flew through space for billions of years. Follow for more crazy coincidences. Forbidden places that you can never visit. Snake Island is an island off of the coast of Brazil filled with deadly snakes. Rising sea levels caused this piece of land to become an island, allowing for the snakes to flourish in their own environment. There are now up to 5 snakes every square meter, and you are not allowed to go here. In Svalbard, Norway, there is a global seed vault, aka the Doomsday Vault. It is the world's seed bank, storing samples of crops from all over the world just in case of a global catastrophe. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang in China holds an army of warriors made of clay. It protects the burial spot of the first emperor of China who died in 210 BC, and we only discovered this tomb in 1974. Poveglia Island in Italy was used to exile hundreds of thousands of victims of the plague. It is said to be one of the most haunted places on Earth, and a dark local legend says that 50% of the soil is made up of human remains. Follow for more. Crazy coincidences that you will not believe are true. Esther and Paul had just started seeing each other for a short time before one day Paul noticed something strange. While paying for a sandwich, he realized that a dollar bill he was about to hand the cashier had the name Esther written in pencil on it. Paul decided to keep this Esther dollar bill and frame it to give it to her as a gift. She was very shocked when she got the dollar bill, which confused Paul, but she told him to ask her about it later. Years later, after they had gotten married, the framed dollar resurfaced in their home. Esther had apparently written her name on about 10 different dollar bills after a breakup she was going through. She said to herself that she would marry the man that brought back one of her dollar bills. She did not tell him this in the moment because she did not want to scare him away so early in the relationship, but she knew right then that he was the one. And now they've been married for over 20 years. Follow for more reasons why the ocean is more terrifying than space. There are giant ocean black holes that measure up to 100 miles in diameter. There are an estimated 3 million shipwrecks on the ocean floor. The human death count from jellyfish every year is 5 to 10 times higher than sharks, making jellyfish a greater threat to your life. Researchers diving in an underwater cave off the coast of Mexico recently found the remains of a girl who is estimated to be over 12,000 years old. Basically, the ocean is a giant cemetery. If your plane crashes into the ocean, you basically have a 5% chance of survival, and in most cases, plane wreckage is never found. The Great Garbage Patch, which lives between California and Hawaii, has grown up to 600,000 square miles, which is twice the size of Texas. Follow for more facts that could save your life one day. Need to break into a car window? Aim for the edges and corners because it's weaker than the center. If you are ever trapped in a car, the headrest pole is made of material that is designed to smash car windows. If you are ever trapped in a building on fire, get to the ground because the most breathable air will always be at the lowest point. Garage door springs can kill you if you try to take them off the wrong way, so best recommended to leave it to professionals. You need to chew an aspirin if you take one thinking that you're having a heart attack. Keep a survival candle in your car when you're in cold areas because the heat from one candle can keep you from freezing to death, and these candles can last up to 36 hours. Condoms can actually be a quick way to store liquids, and they can hold up to a gallon of water. And plus, they're waterproof, so you can store phones or matches, pretty much anything that shouldn't get wet safely. Follow for more crazy coincidences that you will not believe are true. Finnair Flight 666 departed from Copenhagen and landed in Helsinki, otherwise known as Hell, on Friday the 13th. Yes, Flight 666 flew straight into hell on the worst possible day. Thankfully, the coincidence ends there. They landed safely. A couple was sifting through old family photos in anticipation of their upcoming wedding. They discovered that they unknowingly took their first picture together as children 11 years before they ever met. They had grown up 300 miles apart, but the future groom's family was on a beach vacation in the future bride's hometown. The only reason that we get solar eclipses is because the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, but 400 times closer. Throughout time, the moon has always moved further away, so this is the only time in history where the moon is pretty much exactly the same size as the sun. Follow for more